Hello everyone, my name is Fonian and welcome back to another episode of Random Indie Game. So today we'll be playing Ambition, a Minuet in Power, which is a visual novel about a lady intermingling with powerful people at the verge of the French Revolution. Now, if you know history, which I think most of you do, French Revolution is one of the bloodiest revolutions in the last, several thousand years of human history, so this is going to be quite fun. Prologue, Yvette's story. Oh, and by the way, there's a lot of French phrases here in this game, so I don't exactly learn French back in school, so forgive me if I mispronounce some of those words. The carriage rumbles and bounces along the cobbles as you approach Paris. It's taken over a week to get here, even carrying just yourself and your luggage. Your fiancé, Armand, arranged for a carriage to take you from your small village to a tavern he enjoys called the Orphan's Feast. There, he'll meet up with you. You'll likely take dinner together, and then he'll show you to your new home in Paris. For now, though, you've already finished all your books, and Armand's letter is your only entertainment, other than staring out the window. Alright, so as usual, because this is a visual novel, then there is a lot of options that we can make, and some of them can actually alter the history. Now, here's the thing though. Because this visual novel was set in French Revolution, there is a way for you to get a good ending, and there is like multiple romance option, or you can just die in the guillotine. So yeah, this is actually a pretty interesting time. But if you notice this like blue thumb button on the bottom side of the screen, that means that these options will not going to affect anything. The choice is just for characterization purposes, and it will not impact your path or stats. Yep, let's just go ahead and yeah, we don't have all day, so. With a grunt of irritation, the coachman flicks at his reins and the carriage surges forward, sending you lurching back into your seat. The city blurs by as you win your way towards the Orphan's Feast, a tavern where Armand said he would meet you. As tired as rumble as you are, you're glad that he arranged to meet you in a place with ample food and wine. When you arrive, the coachman helps you out of the carriage, and you find yourself outside a glowing, friendly-looking tavern. The sign shows a grubby-looking child holding a plate piled high with fresh bread and roasted meats. Here goes nothing. Inside, a woman polishing a lantern looks up to you as you enter, and her face breaks into a bright smile. Bonjour, madame, and welcome to the Orphan's Feast. Her eyes linger expectantly on the door for a moment, before settling on you. You're suddenly reminded of how rare it is for women to travel by themselves. How may I be of service? She asks. I'm looking for my fiancé, Baron Armand de Marbeau. Oh, a missing person. That actually sounds interesting, she says with a devious smile. The barmaid paused to think. I haven't heard that name before, but I just started working today. If you ask around, some of our patrons might know where to find your fiancé. Alright. While you only have one outfit to your name at the moment, the Orphan's Feast doesn't feel like a particularly judgmental place in terms of fashion. Your credibility won't be shifted by what you're wearing here. As long as you explore tavern and talk to people, you should be able to find Armand soon enough. Basically, this game it can be split into like two phases. So the first phases is of course conversations, but then the second phases will be this place where you can choose whom to talk to. Now there is a time limit though, so we only have like 2 turns here, so it means that we can only talk to these people twice before the event actually ends. And when you notice about their conversation, there is also this potential rewards, which is in terms of credibility and peril. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to put myself in peril when I'm just like not even like a day into Paris, right? So over here you can see that we have credibility, which is an important currency that we need to have in order to start some conversations. But also peril, which I think that when this reaches 100, we will be killed. But I'm not sure about that one though. I haven't gotten that far into the game yet. I think I'm gonna go with this guy, because it gives credibility. While you search for Armand, a handsome young man approaches you. Perhaps he'll be able to help. You look around the unfamiliar tavern, trying to find Armin. Your eyes scan for his chestnut hair. Your ears strain to hear the sound of his infectious laugh. Someone clears their throat behind you. You turn around to find yourself face to face with an unfamiliar young man. He's well dressed and handsome enough, but it's the middle of the day and he already smells like 2 bottles of wine. Pardon moi, madame, but I can never ignore the sight of a woman in need, and you appear to be lost. May I escort you? His smile is broad and cocky. Okay, so there are several options that we can take here, and these choices are determined by the amount of credibility that you have. Now, we do not actually have credibility right now, so I'm actually interested what will happen if I choose this one. Of course, there's also this one, which is going to increase our peril, but there's also this one, which doesn't actually need any check. But let's go ahead and go with this one. Oh, that is something I offer to help you do. The man grimaces and begrudgingly holds out his arm. You take it happily as he conducts you about the tavern, visiting all the places that you suspect Armin might be. A few of the patrons smirk at your clever ploy. You have gained a little credibility. Oh, nice. Now we have 5 credibility. However, after a few minutes searching the tavern, it starts to become clear that Armin is nowhere to be found. Madame, I believe this is where we part ways. Oh, I think it is. With a wave that is barely as polite as decorum requires, he departs to seek the affection of a different young woman. Ah, boy. Always a womanizer. Alright. So that is the first turn, and now the second turn, as you may see here, all the other 2 guys that we can talk to already disappear. So we have no other choices but to talk to these guys. Now that you're more acclimated to the guests and travelers at the Orphan's Feast, you should be able to find someone that can lead you to Armin. Alright. After hours of questioning and searching, it's late in the evening, and you've still yet to find Armin. You're not even sure why, but you feel exhausted. Who knew talking to people was such a hard work? Ain't I know it. Now that you warm up, this may be your chance to finally find out where Armin is. You approach a woman who has spotted glancing your way earlier. Pardon me, have you seen the Baron de Mambo? At the mention of the Armin's full title, she laughs nervously. She makes small talk for a brief moment before excusing herself and disappearing into the crowd. The room appears to be emptying out. A gentleman you remember seeing earlier walks by. He might prove a little more useful. Excuse me, can you help a woman in need? Do you know a man named Armin? He looks at you, glances over to the woman who spoke with you earlier, then quickens his pace as he walks by. The room is emptying out even faster now. You manage to get the attention of another woman. Excuse... She doesn't even slow down before she leaves. After the third person gives you the cold shoulder, you start to wonder what happened. Are you really that out of place? Is it something about Armin? What is going on here? Still, you check around the Orphan's Feast one last time. There is no sign of Armin, not even an open tap with the tavern keep. After waiting around for a few hours, you leave the Orphan's Feast, dragging your small mountain of luggage behind you. After all, the coach was only hired to take you to the tavern. Armin may not have been waiting for you like he said he would, but you memorize his address from all the times you wrote it on your letters to him. It's the middle of the night, but the street's still teeming with life. The light from the windows and the street lamps sparkle like the stars. You're tired and your feet hurt, but still, you can't help but smile. This is it. This is Paris. No matter what happens, you're still here. For a brief moment, you're not a country girl dragging luggage through the streets. You're the person you feel that you are when you close your eyes alone. You've overseen a grand salon surrounded by poets, musicians, scientists, philosophers, and artists. You are elegant, sophisticated, and respected. You're getting close to the address. Armin never described his living conditions much, but he is the son of a baron, and his family was always well-to-do, especially compared to yours. You You spent a lot of time in that carriage wondering about the home you'd spend your new life in. Still, you didn't expect this. Calling the house rustic will imply that you were out in the country, not in the center of the city. The neighborhood is nice enough, but you're worried that if you breathe too hard on the building, it'll fall over. A well-kept woman in an attire of a maid opens the door and approaches you. Ah, bonjour! I assume you must be Madame Yvette. My name is Camille. Monsieur Armand told me to expect you. Merci, Camille. Please take me to Armand. I was hoping he was with you, Camille replied hesitantly. I haven't seen him in days. Thank you, Camille. Do you think Armand's alright? I'm sure she's fine, madame. Camille replies with a tone of voice that doesn't fill you with confidence. Glancing around, Camille seems to notice your mountains of luggage for the first time. Mon Dieu, madame! Did you carry this all yourself? You must be exhausted. She's not wrong. You're not certain how you're still upright and awake right now. I've already made up your bed, madame. Please go inside and let me take care of this. You take your diary and leave the heavy lifting to Camille. The side of the house isn't much better than the outside. Camille keeps the place tidy, but she can only do so much. Still, you don't care about that right now. You're just happy to have a roof over your head. You plop down on the nearby couch, open your diary, and start to write. You're tired, disappointed, and perhaps abandoned, but writing things down always helps you make sense of a situation. Alright, so that is our first day in Paris, and we got some credibility out of that exchange, and that is great. Early the next morning, Camille approaches you, occasionally wringing her apron with her hands. She is obviously nervous. Madame, there is something you should know. Taking a deep breath, she continues. You're expected to attend a party a day after tomorrow, held by one Viscountess Marcel de Foy. I mean, Marmon replied to the invitation, but you were to be his date. What do you know about Viscountess de Foy? I'm sorry, madame, but a Viscountess... it just felt above my station, so I tried not to pay attention whenever she came up. Camille replies with a shrug. I know that she never visited the house. Monsieur Armand seems to like her, but from what I could tell, she was a little... How do I put this? Judgmental. She was a little... very judgmental. I hope that helps, madame. Well, at least I have a party to go to. Camille looks visibly relieved. Parfait! If you need anything washed or prepared, just ask. That reminds me, Camille exclaims. If you're going to a party, you should probably make sure you're dressed appropriately. Fashion moves so quickly here that people retire outfits before they even wear out. At this proclamation, you can't help but notice that Camille's uniform has been repaired many, many times. Camille continues. Monsieur Armand was always going through clothes so quickly. He said that every outfit has a certain amount of novelty. Every time you wore them, the novelty would go down a bit. In fact, even a little thing like wearing the same thing twice in a row could run the novelty out faster. Can you imagine? Fortunately, he knew the most delightful clothier on Rue du Flambeau Saint-Honoré. I cannot read French. She runs a shop called Le Petit Mogul. I'll draw you some directions. And yeah, Paris is kinda huge, even back in 1800s, so you open the door and walk into the tiny shop, which seems smaller due to how absolutely full it is. This isn't just a boutique, it is a workshop for whoever works here. Rolls of gorgeous fabrics cover every available surface. A cloying smoke hangs in the air. The scent is pleasant, but wholly unfamiliar. As soon as the door swings behind you, you hear a sudden rustling of fabrics further in the store. A customer? Hamboula! A surprisingly young voice calls out, Bonjour, madame, and welcome to Le Petit Mogul. A woman, presumably the owner, calls out to you. How may I help you? Alright, let's just skip the tutorial. Her eyes light up. Madame, you have come to the right place. Alright, so outfits is actually really important in Paris in this game. So you may see here that each outfit has their own stats. So the stats is luxury, modesty, and novelty. You may caught on before that novelty is tied to how many times that you wear that same clothes. So we might want to have multiple outfits here. And luxury and modesty is kind of like a stats that is dependent upon which factions that you're going to approach later in the game. So several factions have their own different preferences, and it's going to affect how you want to talk to them. Let's confirm that, and that's going to set us back 62 franc. So yeah, I think we are going to leave the shop. Camille enters your bedroom, already full of cheer. Madame, when would you like to start getting ready? Yeah, let's go ahead and get ready today, because I know that women takes forever to prepare for the party. So yeah, if this is as important as the invitation makes it seems, I should start preparing now. That's good to hear. These preparations always seem to take all day. On days where you have a party, you won't really have time to spend exploring Paris. Once you go to the wardrobe, we can get started. Okay, so now I'm going to skip the tutorial again. Don't worry, Camille, I'm already quite good at this. Ah, but of course, madame, Camille laughs, following you as you start to get ready for the party tonight. I don't know though, Camille, you seems to be kinda like too excited for this. When your carriage drops you off at the party, you find yourself waiting in line for quite some time. Looking at the other guests, you wonder if you're underdressed or overdressed. It's honestly hard to tell. You look over yourself one last time and confirm that you're wearing your plain, pricey outfit to a party being held by the crown. Everyone has their preferences, and you've heard that they prefer their guests to wear racy outfits. Yours is plain. They also like to see a luxurious outfit. Yours is pricey. Oh, the guest approves of your outfit and your credibility has increased. Oh, nice! Immediately upon entering the vestibule, you're greeted by a doorman holding a small ledger. While he isn't physically bearing your entry, his manner certainly is. Name, madame? He asks expectantly. Yvette de Cos. The doorman looks perplexed at you for a moment, flipping through his ledger. I do not see your name here, madame. I am Baron Armand de Marbois-Date. He could not attend. Ah, that is most unfortunate, the footman replies, surprisingly disappointed. Viscountess de Foy was so looking forward to seeing him tonight. Please convey our deepest regrets at his absence. Alright, so again, we are supposed to choose our conversations here. A pair of ladies are whispering amongst themselves about some rumor concerning the family of His Majesty King Louis XVI. That information could be useful later. Yeah, sure. Let's hear some gossips about the family, I guess. You approach a pair of women who are already in the midst of conversation, speaking quite quickly in low voices. They don't seem to have noticed you. It's been days since the Queen has made any official appearances at Versailles, one of the women fiercely whispers to the other. It is said that the Dauphin's health is worsening, and she spends every minute by his side. Your ears perk up at this. The Queen's eldest son is only 7 years old, but he's been afflicted with consumption for years now. Rumors don't have much value, but if there's some evidence to this claim, then this could be valuable gossip indeed. He's overcome the condition before. Perhaps he'll do it again. Okay, let's see. This choice requires an easy credibility challenge. Yeah, let's get into the conversation. Pardon moi, but I heard you mention consumption. My brother suffered from it too. Your brother never actually came down with the illness, but he's not here to contest that fact. You smile and pretend to be oblivious as to who they were discussing, so as to mask your intent. Well, our friend's son has been sick for quite some time now, and one woman starts cautiously. The other woman suddenly steps in between the two of you and cuts off her companion. I'm sorry, but this is a private matter. I'm glad your brother is doing well. Please give him our regards. Her smile is cold, and her posture stiff. You have lost some credibility. Oh no! A woman in staggeringly pink dress is approaching you, carrying her pet dog. Judging by the way other guests are looking at her, you can surmise that this is the Viscountess Marcel Devoy, the woman who invited you and Armin here. Ooh, that's a lot of... Oh my god, this is actually going to be a dangerous talk here. You nearly mistake the woman standing in front of you for some kind of walking confection. A pampered dog lounges in her arms. I don't believe we had the chance to properly introduce ourselves. I am Viscountess Marcel Devoy. Her voice raised in volumes imperceptibly, but it's enough to draw the attention of the large crowd in the room. Everyone, this is Yvette, Armin's fiancée. A murmur of interest washes through the crowd, and you can feel their eyes focus on you. Yeah, before we proceed, maybe we want to save first because there's a potential that I'm going to die here. I'm so glad to see you. Armin, that ambitious little thing, has told me so much about you. In fact, I'd say that he's quite infatuated with you, a common girl like yourself. You're so lucky. Before you can reply, a valet grabs you roughly by the arm and drags you from the room. People like Viscountess Devoy don't need to do their own dirty work. They have servants for it. It takes far longer than you like to get outside, as the entryway is crowded with guests preparing to leave. You can feel their eyes weighing heavily on you. When you finally get to the door, you feel a brutish shove and you stumble out into the courtyard, barely keeping your balance and your heels. The area is equally crowded, with various persons entering their personal carriages. You can hear somebody snicker, but you have no idea who it was. Choosing to take the high ground, you straighten your posture and hold your head high, striding towards your carriage as if it was your intention to live like this all along. While you make a great effort to haughtily avoid eye contact with all of those watching you, you can tell that some of them are quite surprised by your decorum in this dire situation. You have gained a little credibility. Nice! When you arrive at the place where your carriage is parked, you quickly find out that it isn't. It's gone. You check to make sure that you are in the right place, but to no avail. The carriage you hired is simply not there. He went home, a passing coachman says helpfully, while adjusting the harness on a particular grumpy horse. Doorman come out here an hour ago and told him you wanted the coach to leave without you. Seemed real important, so he went home. Before you can even respond, he gets his carriage moving, leaving you alone with yet another indignity. Going back to Marcel is obviously unacceptable. It's too far to walk home, and most of the guests have already left. However, there appear to be 3 other carriages waiting to leave, each of them quite different. Perhaps one of them can help. Okay, there are different choices here. There's a humble carriage, bold carriage, or extravagant carriage. The carriage to your right is richly decorated, yet somber. Swags of black crepe. The black crepe hangs from the roof of the carriage, leaving only glimmers on the gold underneath. The decidedly feminine bend of the decoration indicates that the occupant is a woman, but all the black suggests that she is in mourning. A wealthy widow helping a lost soul in need. It works in the book. Let's go! Settle in your decision, you set out, ready to entrust your fortune to a mysterious stranger. The coachman pays you no heed as you approach this sumptuously decorated carriage. Normally, you find yourself to be quite fearless in social situations, but something about this whole scenario gives you pause. Should you knock on the door? Call out? What seems to be troubling you, madame? Called a voice from inside the carriage. Yeah, let's go with this one, because this is not Uber, alright? So you cannot just ask like that, so... Yeah. Madame, my fiancé is lost. Our house denounced me and my carriage is gone. Can you help? How tragic, replied the voice with a trace of amusement. What kind of person would I be if I didn't take pity on such a helpless soul? You have gained a little favor with her. Renee, the door, please. With that, Renee, the coachman, hops down from his box and opens the door for you. A delicate pale hand reaches out from the darkness to you. You take her hand and step inside. Oh, she's actually quite beautiful. After a few seconds, your eyes adjust to the shadow and you see the woman in front of you. She is older than yourself, but still younger than you expect. Dressed in luxurious morning clothes, she reclines easily in her seat, touching a fine glass filled with water. My name is Honorate. What should I call you, madame? Yeah, I cannot read French, so let's just go with the first one. Decor. It's a pleasure to meet you, Yvette Decor. Shall we be off? She knocks delicately on the roof compartment, and with a clean crack of the coachman whip, the carriage makes its way towards Paris. While I saw you a few times during the party tonight, and I know that you're new to Paris, we never had a chance to properly introduce ourselves. However, I did manage to hear about your most unfortunate run-in with our hosts. Why were the days so dreadfully cruel to you? Should we share the gossips? I guess why not, right? Apparently they're enemies with my lost fiancé and wanted to snub him by berating me. Honorate doesn't speak for a while, instead choosing to stare into her glass of water with an expression of surprise and disgust. You must be quite strong to endure such dreadful treatment. You have gained a little favor with Honorate. She examines you intently while she sips her water. I assume you're already planning your revenge now? I know I would be. After a long silence, Honorate leans over to the window and looks out through one of the few spots not obscured by the black crab. Now, I'm sure you already know how dangerous it is to accept rides home from strangers. We could be going anywhere right now and you wouldn't even know it. You are slightly uncomfortable, probably because she's making a good point. You stop to wonder if you'd be any good at leaping from a moving carriage. Don't do that, please. You will at least break your hand or your leg by doing that. But of course, the best way to fix that is by not being strangers. Ask me some questions so you may properly judge my character. Please indulge me. What would you like to know? How did you know our hosts? Would you believe that I don't? Not really, at least. She chuckles into her glass before taking a leisurely sip. Of course, now that I know what they did to you, I have no intentions of getting to know that conniving wretch at all. I was actually quite the homebody. My husband's textile mills made more than enough money for me to live a life of leisure, which he was happy to let me do. Though, I'm sure he was frustrated by my unwillingness to attend all the big parties his clients would throw. Crowds don't really suit me, you see. I prefer more intimate gatherings. However, when Charles passed, I keep getting invitations. He has so many friends, and I hated the idea of letting him down more than the idea of being in a room filled with people I don't care about. So I started going. Listen to me. That was certainly more than you asked for. Now, what about you? What made you want to come to Paris? Well, I'm sure she can relate with being ditched by a man, right? So let's go here. I came here because I'll do anything for love. You left everything behind and traveled far away all for love. Honorate smiled distantly and runs her hand along the satin cushions that she's sitting on. I like that. You have gained some favor with Honorate. Yes, that's like a right option, I think. You're ruled by your passions, such things that aren't in vogue with this age of reason. But I feel like if one is going to be controlled by anything, it should be love. Perhaps I am getting ahead of myself, but I imagine the next question you'll ask me is how long have I been in mourning, or no? She's not wrong. She sighed. There is a reasonable question, though not one I like answering. You see, as of last week, it's been 2.5 years. You maintain a neutral expression, but you can't help but dwell on the fact that 2.5 years is far longer than any prescribed period of mourning. You've heard of widows wearing a black wiper on their gowns for a few months longer than most, but this is something else entirely. You're very polite. Most, when they hear that, take it upon themselves to chide me for my breach of decency. What do you think? Is 2.5 years too long to mourn for lost love? I mean, in my opinion, people can grieve for as long as they want. There is something romantic about casting aside decency for the sake of grief. I think so too, Honorate replies, her lips twisting up into a devilish smile. How can we say that we love someone if we're not willing to defy the rules of decency to do it? You have gained some favor with Honorate. We yearn for a beloved that would do anything for us and us for them. Yet, the moment we see a pair of lovers actually behaving this way, we tell them that they're sick or wicked. I'm glad to know you haven't fallen into that little trap yourself. The journey to your home in Paris lasts for a long time, but it doesn't feel that way. Honorate plays the part of hostess wonderfully, always managing to guide the conversation in a satisfying direction. Unlike so many other of the persons you've met in Paris, she seems completely uninterested in polite small talk, focusing instead on more interesting subjects. Love and loss, passion and transgression. You barely notice when the carriage arrives at your home. The coachman suddenly hops from his box at the head of the carriage and opens your door for you. Honorate offers her hand to help you up as you get out of your seat. When you take her hand, you find yourself looking into her eyes. Yvette, may I ask you to do something for me? And what would that be? When I introduced myself earlier, I told you to call me Honorate. Now that I've spoken with you a little more, I've had a change of heart. I would much prefer if you called me Madame Gazelle when you address me. Would you be comfortable with that? Yeah, sure. Yes, Madame Gazelle. Marvelous. She helps you down from the carriage and into the street in front of your house. Hopefully we shall meet again soon. Bonne nuit, Yvette. Soon, with the crack of his whip overhead, the coachman spurs the horse into action, and the carriage winds through the streets and disappears into the night. You have gained some favors with Honorate. You turn to your home to see Camille is already there, just holding the door open for you. Who is that? A very intriguing woman, one that I'm hoping to see more of. Your mind brimming with new possibilities. You step inside and head upstairs. Slowly, you get undressed and open your journal to record exactly what transpired tonight. Alright. Well, we didn't actually get a lot of credibility from that exchange, but we do get some crown gossips and we made friends with someone who seems to despise the royalty, which I think that's a good thing. Nothing is going to make last night go away. The only option is deciding what to do next. You feel exhausted, not physically, but in your very soul. Like your fate in Paris has already been decided, and that to remain here would be pointless. It would just be the humiliations of last night, over and over again. However, stronger than the exhaustion is the simmering rage you feel, at the outrageousness of your circumstances, at the injustice of your treatment, and at the thought of going back to your tiny village after finally making it here to Paris. No, you must not go back. You cannot go back. Not while a single candle of your ambition still burns. Okay, so that is Ambition, a Minuet in Power. But as far as visual novel goes, this is actually a quite interesting story by itself. If you like this game, if you like what you're seeing here in this video, there's a link in the description down below where you can go to the Steam page and wishlist the game or even get it once it's out. And also, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of these random indie games every week. And yeah, with that, I think I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.